Hi guys, it's Victoria here for Tonic Studios, and I'm here with you today with a huge die set. And when I say huge, you can see here that they fill the whole A4 sheet. Now this die set is called Forest Friends, and they're exactly that. They're our little forest friends. Anyway, now I've got my teeth back in, I will guide you through the dies. So if any of you remember the bauble die that we had, these are made in a very, very similar way indeed. The owl is made completely different from the other two characters, which is a fox and a hedgehog. But of course, these characters can be anything that you want them to be. So that said, I have one half made up here, and I'm going to show you how to make the rest of it. But I'm just going to talk you through some of the dies, okay? So of course this is going to cut the rim of the top of your box and your lid, okay? So you're going to need to cut two of those out. You're also going to have a base for the actual base of the box and obviously the lid, which you're going to be using this one. Now there is a little hat in this die set, so this is the little rim of the hat, so you'll need 4 of these, okay? And then this little die here, that is the hat, and you'll need 8 of these. You'll also need the smallest hexagon here, and this will be the base for your hat to sit on, and you'll just glue all the way around like you do this, and then the tops just fold in on themselves. And you can give him a little bobble hat or her a little bobble hat, and then this goes on the top of that hat, so you've got a little pom-pom there. Okay, now you'll see noses and eyes and ears for all different characters. Like I said, we do have a fox, but the fox can be something else. I decided not to go down the fox road, and I decided to make a raccoon. So that die set works very much with a raccoon as well. Just change your colours up a little bit. This funny looking die here, you're thinking, what the heck is that? That's going to be the owl's feet. Okay, so you'll need to cut a couple of those out, although I've cut this out 6 times to make them more chipboardy. But that's for that. You'll see flowers, you'll see glasses. Now glasses can fit any of the characters. They fit the hedgehog better because it has a scoopy nose, but they do fit on the owl as well, and I'll show you that when I make one of the characters. So you've got the glasses here, and for this one I've cut them 3 times to make them chipboard, and then I have used our crystal glaze to make them shiny like you would normally see glasses. I've also cut the owl's nose, the beak, and glazed it, and I've also done the little eyeball and glazed that as well. So you would need to use our crystal glaze, this one here, and that will add all the lovely glaze to everything that you want to use it on. Okay, and that'll be available on the website. So this is the hat. Now I'm not putting a bobble on this one because I am having a Professor Owl. So my little pal, I've cut 3 and put chipboard on them. I've punched a little hole in the corner with a hole punch, crocodile or anything like that that you might have. And then I've threaded a tassel through. So this is going to glue on the top of the hat like this. So we're going to have a Professor Owl. And our Professor Owl is going to be reading a little book. So we've just cut freehand on the paper trimmer a little book, and we've shaped it back. We've distressed it with some of the gold, Indian gold embossing, mousse, I should say, and used it like a gilding wax. And then we've distressed some cream card inside for it to look like an old book. So our little owl shall be reading a little book. I've cut the wings. So here we have one stuck together. So you have the wing die here. Okay. And I've cut one in cream and one in like a buff cardstock. And then you've got a couple of dies like this that will obviously make the pattern in there. So there was that one. There is a little hook, if I can see it. I can't see for the trees. It's here somewhere. No, there's that many dies on this sheet. It is hard to see everything. But they're on there somewhere. So we've just gone down in the sizes there. So that's for that. So the base of the box, we're going to need to cut, is it eight I think, 8 of these. Okay, so we need 8 of those. This is his little chest on the front of the owl, and again we've cut those kind of details into the chest of the owl. Then we want one of these, although I have cut 2 and made them a bit more chipboardy, and I've just distressed the edges with some ink, vintage photo. And I'm going to sneeze, apologies. I knew that was coming. And then we've cut some eyes in green cardstock in Craft Perfect, like the grass green. We've then gone and cut that eye in white, and then we've glazed the little eyeball in black there to give the wise owl some really googly eyes. So you could glue googly eyes on those as well if you have them to hand. They will work just as well. So the lid, that's what I wanted to tell you. We want 8 of these also, okay. And you will be gluing this part of the glue tab to the base, and the wider part of that die and the wider part of this die here glues then to this part here, which I will show you in a moment. Okay, and then you have this little glue tab that holds the 2 boxes together, just like the bauble die. You'll remember that one. And I think that's it. There'll be instructions in the set for you to see what everything is. The only difference I'm going to say is when you make the owl, you need 8 of these and 8 of these. When you make the hedgehog and the fox, you're only going to need to cut 1 of these for each of those characters, and this is the nose. And then you're going to have a left and a right, okay? So then you would only need to cut 5 of these, okay? So it'd be 5 of these, 1 of that one, 1 of that one, and 1 of that one. That's the difference between them. And then you can see there's little eyes, little noses, little twinkly eyes. This tiny die here, which obviously puts this little thing in there. So there's lots and lots and lots to be going on with here. So I think we should head on over, put this to one side, and start making our character, I think. So I'm going to put that to one side there. Like I said, I have put the base together, so the largest of the sides is going to be your base. Now I've added a magnet underneath, and I will be adding a magnet to the other half, but that's where the other magnet is, and that will keep that closed then, okay. So there we go. Let's get the glue out. So as you can see already, I have attached 5 of those. 6 of those even. 6 of those. Vicky can't count. 6 of these. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to glue the other 2. I didn't want to be gluing lots and lots of panels because I know that it's a rinse and repeat process, and you'd get bored of watching me holding all the panels till they dry. So we just put that one in there, and then again repeat that on this piece. Okay, so we just slide him in there. There we go. And we're going to turn that over, and then we're going to cover our workings, because as you know, tonic, think of everything And as crafters, we like to cover our tabs and things up so that it's all neat and professional looking. So down we go. So are you all looking forward to March Madness? I think you are. This is being made ahead of time, but there'll be something different each day, and I have no idea what you are going to pick because, wow, that's a toughie. So then I'm just shaping these just with my thumb and finger, just to give it some shape. You could do this before you glue them on. It's completely up to you. So we're just going to give them a little shape and curve there. And then when you have these glue tabs, we're just going to add a little bit of adhesive just on these tabs. Now this will be a little bit rinse and repeat, but you can fast forward me. And I'm sure many of you do. Because it does get a little bit boring watching things being glued and me holding and holding. But I would definitely, for all the newbies out there, you know, that are just getting into 3D, I would definitely stick this box together with wet adhesive. I do drum on about it quite a lot on every video I think I've ever made. Wet adhesive is the way to go. Tape is very good for a temporary measure and to hold it whilst you're doing other things, but it doesn't have that longevity. If you're making a keepsake for somebody, you want it to stay stuck together. I mean, just for instance, my mum, she sees the 3D make, she has to take them home and she puts them in her glass display cabinet, and she's got the vintage Vardo, she's got all sorts in there, and she won't part with them. But central heating in houses makes things dry out. So if you're sticking things with tape, just add a little bit of wet adhesive with it as well. And then that will give that the longevity. And then obviously if you don't want to use tape, then just stick with your deluxe adhesive, because I know you're all going to say that I'm biased because I work with tonic, but it is really the best wet adhesive I have ever used. And there's been a few over the years, but this to me, it's just so easy to work with because it gives you that little bit of wiggle time to get things in the right place, but you're not waiting forever for it to glue, you know, and for it to stick. So and it's not a messy glue either. If you do happen to be a little bit over generous with it, it will dry clear. So don't ever be worried, you know. But we all work differently. Some people do like to use tape, and that's absolutely fine. There's no right way or wrong way. But for me, for 3D, I would always go down the wet adhesive. In the long run, it's cheaper and it goes further as well, you know. So, there we go. Nearly there now, guys. It is a little bit of a rinse and repeat. But you're just pinching those. You're holding it in one hand and then you're pinching it on the inside with your other finger just to make sure that it's aligned in the right place. And then we're just going to add some adhesive to this last little tabs. There we go. And glue that one down. I just think these boxes are fantastic for any occasion and any age. But I am sure that when you get these home, you're going to see lots of other characters that you can turn these into, i.e. maybe a bear, or, you know, change the ears. It could be a rabbit. You're going to have lots of fun and change this about. So, where's my ring? There it is. So now we're going to add this to here. So I just add adhesive to one tab, or maybe 2 tabs at a time, because I can. And then you're just going to put your fingers underneath and slide that into position, making sure you're going point to point so that it all lines up. And if you get that first section right, then it's going to line up all the way around your box. Okay, so just pinch that and pinch again. And then we're just going to add some adhesive under here. There we go. And we'll do a couple of tabs at a time. And then slide that in place. Then the next one. And then let's add some adhesive to these here. And then down there. I hope you can't hear a humming in the background, guys. I do apologise if you can. I know this sounds a bit mad, but I have a little fridge in here because often I'm in here for so long and I normally unplug it and I've forgotten to unplug it. So if you can hear a little hum, I apologise. Also comes in handy to put all your little bottles of glue in when we have one of those mad summers. Oh, let's hope, I should say. That's wishful thinking on my part, isn't it? I remember one year, it was well, it was about, I don't know if it was about 3 years, 4 years ago. Oh, it was a boiling hot summer. And literally my glue was just melting away. It was that warm, so our Ali said, stick it in the fridge. So I thought, oh, that's a good idea. Anyway, it did the trick. I didn't leave it in there for a long period of time, but it was in there for a little while, and boy, it did the trick. But it was extremely hot. So there we have the lid. Okay, so this is now going to glue onto this glue tab here. Okay, so I'm just going to add some wet adhesive to this tab. It might have even been longer than that, you know. Time seems to be going so fast. I'm just losing all track of time. All track of time. So line him up. And there's your egg shape. Imagine just decorating this with some Easter papers. You've got a nice little Easter egg there. If you missed out on our Easter box last year. So I'm just going to pinch that now with my fingers just to hold the two pieces together. Okay, and there we have an opening and closing, like a Fabergé egg, isn't it, really? And then obviously that's where my magnet is, so I must put the tape on the other side. Let's take the backing off there and let's stick it on that side. This is what happens when you prep late into the evening like I do. You're half asleep when you're doing it. So we need to stick that under there like so. Roughly that's where it was, and you see that snaps together. So that's your closing mechanism. Now the fun begins to decorate him. So I am going to add adhesive to this wing here. Alright. And there'll be lots of tutorials on these little characters because a fair few of us are YouTubers, so we'll have made content for you guys for the event. So keep an eye out for the other DT girls because they've all been extremely busy. Right. So there's one wing. So we'll just let that stick. Now I'm going to shape this. I'm going to curve it just with my fingers, no special tools or anything like that. I just want to make sure he has got some curvature, because we're going to be sticking him to the side so that his arms come around the front there, like so. Okay, so I think we're going to have him around about there. Yes, we are. So I'm going to add adhesive just to this top part of the wing arm, and I think we're going to have, where's the front? Let's check, we're at the front. Right, so that's the front, so we need him to be around about there. Okay, and we're just going to hold that in place. Now you can open it and get your fingers in there so that you can press against the box. Okay, and we'll just hold that till we know it's grabbed. And then we're going to curve this one exactly the same. So give him a nice curve there. And then let's get rid of that piece of tape. My pet hate little bits of red liner. Always use a little bit of red liner on my magnet. Right, and then we're going to stick him on the opposite side, roughly around about the same place, and then hold that. And once you add the head, you'll start to see the character come to life. I think when I was making the hedgehog, before actually I did the nose and the bits of detail, I thought I was making an elephant because it just looked like an elephant's face. Well, this is what I'm saying. I think you're going to see lots of other characters within these sets. So we've got a chest piece here. So again, I'm adding adhesive to the back of this chest piece. But you could do a snowy owl. You could do an owl just like this, and you could put a little wand in his hand, so he's like a little Harry Potter owl. So there's lots of different ideas. We just can't make all the ideas that we come up with because we've got other things to make. But yeah, there's lots of ideas with this little chap. So then we're going to put this just on the top. So that's just like his little ruffle. And then bend and curve that a little bit with my thumb, because he is going to go on the front there. His nice plump chest. And then he's going to go just there. Now you could add a little dicky bow if you wanted to this little chappy, or if it was a little girl owl. Obviously there are florals and flowers in this set, so lots of different versions there. So that's going to be the chest. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make his face. So I've made one eye up already, so that would go about there. And then I have a little eyeball that we've put that glaze on. So I'm just going to add some adhesive there. And I'm going to get my tweezers because I had to cut all my nails down. So we're going to have one eyeball there. And then we're going to glue this flat. But you could add 3D foam pads onto these eyes if you wanted a bit more dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and get a foam pad or two. So we'll go one there and one there. Again, you can get all your foam pads and things like that off the website. Everything's there. So we're going to go one there, and we're going to go one there. So it does look bog-eyed at this point. And then we're going to add a little beak. So again, we've used that crystal glaze. I think it just gives him a nice little beak there. Again, you could have had foam pads if you wanted to, but we're just going to place that down there. Then we've got, oh, we get these little pieces. This is the trouble when you cut all your nails off, you can't pick anything up. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive just on the back of my hand there. Now be careful, obviously, if you are allergic to doing things like that. Is that one? It's that one, isn't it? That way around. And look at the curve of the ear to know where those pieces go. Okay, just a little bit of adhesive there. Okay, so those are his little ears. Now you can see him starting to come to life a little bit. So then we want a little bit of adhesive on the back there, because these are his little fluffy bits, frou-frou bits. These just add a little bit more depth to his face. There we go. And then add those to round about there. You see him come to life now. And then he is just going to sit on the front of your box like that. Okay, so I'm actually going to add a giant foam pad onto the back of there, I think. She says when she finds one. So I think I'm going to just add one there. And I will add a few drops of glue for longevity. And then we're just going to stick that just above the join. Okay, so there he's starting to come alive now, isn't he? So we do have a pair of glasses that we have glazed. Now you can glue these flat. On the hedgehog there is a little glue tab so that you can glue it flat onto the nose. Obviously I didn't want that on the owl, so I think in this instance I'm just going to, I'm going to add a little slither of a black foam pad. I'm trying to remember now because there we go. So I'm just adding a little slither there. There we go. Just to hold it off his little eyes. And again, I would add some wet adhesive. And then he's just going to rest there between his eyes. Okay, so there's his little glasses. And then we have here the feet. Okay, so these would be his feet there. So I'm going to cross these over. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive down this side here. And I'm just going to overlay them just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to add wet adhesive again. And I'm just going to unclog my glue because it's clogged and it's driving me around the twist. So let me just put a pin in there. There we go. And then add a little bit of adhesive there. And then these little feet are going to stick just under the front here. So just have a look at your owl and eyeball the base of the box to where you want the feet, and then just hold that for a second. And then he's got his little feet there. And then I'm going to add another little slither of a foam pad, and I'm going to put one on this side of his wing, and another to the other side. There we go. So, oh, fingers and thumbs here, Vicky. Got foam pads stuck to me everywhere. There we go. So we're just going to put the foam pad. Oh, I can't see. Let's turn him so I can see. That would help, wouldn't it? There we go. So, I'm going to take the back of that foam pad off. There. And make sure it's curved inwards. And then he's just going to hold on to this little book. So just make sure you've got the middle of the book to where he is. So that he's holding the book there. And then we're just going to glue the top of this. And you build the hat just like you've built the base of the box. So I think we're going to have that at an angle there. So you've just got your 8 sides and the 4 panels for the sides. That's why I went ahead and made the hat, because if you can make the base of the box, then you can make the hat. It's exactly the same principle. And then we're just going to hold that till we know it's grabbed, which will take a few minutes. And that is our cheeky little chappy all made. Now, when I said to you before about, you know, you could definitely add a little wand. You know, I was just thinking Harry Potter when I saw this chap. Of course, you can change the colours. You can have more fawn. You can have a snowy owl, a grey owl. Up to you. I just wanted his eyes to pop. So I'm going to add a wet adhesive again, then to the base of the hat. There we go. I'm being a little generous there because I want that to stick nicely. And then I think we'll have it at that angle, like so. And then I'm just going to hold that just for a second or two till we know that glue has grabbed. Have a little tidy up. And I think he's all stuck down. So, meet Professor Owl. There he is in all his glory, and as you can see, the lid opens for your gift inside, whether that's little eggs, sweeties, bath bomb, little candle, whatever you want to put in here as a gift. Lots of little things, little perfume bottle, anything like that, little hand creams. And there you are, guys. That is our Professor Owl. And I just think he looks absolutely adorable. So yeah, so you've got hedgehog, owl, fox. As I did the fox as a raccoon, you have a raccoon. But I'm sure you're going to think of lots of more characters that you can turn these into. But I just want to say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you're going to have an amazing week with March Madness. If you're not following me already, it would be wonderful if you could click that follow or subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's just so that you can follow when I have some new videos available. And as always, the housework. I'll have a full description either below or above, wherever they want to put it. And in there you will find my affiliated links. So if you would like to purchase any of the products for this week or going forward through myself, it takes you straight to the Tonic website, but I do gain a small commission for you using my links, but it doesn't add any extra cost to you whatsoever, and it's always very appreciated, but there's no pressure there at all. So I just want to say thank you ever so much. I will be back. You'll be sick to death of me probably after this week, but I will be back with some more tutorials, guys. So if you could give me that little clicker button and a little comment would be wonderful, and at least then I know you're all there. So take care everyone, and I'll catch you all soon. Happy crafting. Bye for now.